All right, guys, another great night of fights.
Those were
Overeem
entertaining.
Harris fight night.
This was a good night, man. Like, they've been delivering. Last Saturday, Wednesday, and then tonight. And a lot of times, fight cards get overlooked, or fight nights get overlooked, but this was entertaining, man. From beginning to end, I really enjoyed tonight's
Dude, it was
fights.
great. Right when they started off with Nascimento getting a submission win.
Which is kind of expected. He was 7-0 coming in. All 7 were with submission, so it's a fair guess that he probably would have done it. I thought DeMonte, what was his name? DeMonte, something like that. He was doing okay on the feet, and I thought maybe he might connect with something that could change the pace of the fight, but as soon as it got towards the ground, we knew Nascimento was going to get that submission.
Great. It was great. I mean, overall, the whole night was great.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like, even the 6 decisions they had.
Yeah.
Those were fucking great, man.
Yeah, and a lot of them were very close. There were maybe 3 or 4 of them were split decisions.
They were, yeah.
And honestly,
it could have went either way.
What we were thinking, or at least what I was thinking, for who the judges would have gave it to, was not correct. And a lot of people on Twitter were agreeing that they were like, "Oh, these judges are messing up. What's going on here?" I don't know, man, but they say never leave it up to the judges, and that's exactly why. Because if you don't do enough to win, that's what can happen. So
that's very true. I mean, with the 6 decisions, 3 TKOs, and 2 submissions tonight,
entertaining night.
Entertaining, dude. Like, these last 3 fight cards.
Of course, a lot of people would want to see maybe more. Like Wednesdays had 7 TKOs. A lot of people want to see that, but like we said, these decisions were just so close and so much back and forth that it made it that much more entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, one of the decisions was Dan the Train versus Nate the Train. Sorry,
Nate the Train
and
Landwehr.
Dan the Damage. A bloodbath, man.
Oh man, he had a cut over his forehead and both eyes, and he was leaking, bro.
Dude, the whole mat was bloody after that fight, man.
Yeah, I mean, they cleaned it up for a little bit, and then as soon as they went back at it, the first punch just had him, overflowing again.
Another great fight, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think watching it, I thought Nate Landwehr was very stiff. He had little to no head movement at all, but he was connecting a little bit better. And maybe his showmanship won him the fight. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, in the middle of the fight, he's yelling out, Dana.
Yeah, Dana.
Right.
Yeah, he put his hand behind his back and stuff. That's all entertaining, but if you're not, like a top 5 guy, maybe you need to focus more on the fight for now to prove your name instead of being known as the guy that was showboating. Perform a little bit better. He did well. He got the W, but if he could have finished Dan Elking, it would have been a lot more impressive.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely, dude. But that bloodbath, as soon as, I think that was the 3rd fight of the card. The second one was Courtney Casey versus...
Mara, long name.
Mara.
The Italian woman.
Yeah. Another great fight.
Yeah, first round armbar submission, man.
Second round. Second round armbar submission.
And Bisping called it. Bisping was calling it. As they were watching, he was like, she's leaving her arm in there a little bit too long. And as she postures up, Casey lets her just so she can and that's what she got, man.
Right. And I believe that was her first win in the last year.
Probably, yeah. And I think she's been having some trouble, but I mean, good for her. She got
it
that
back.
Yeah, and the stand up I would have liked to see a little bit more, but that's a good armbar, and it was painful. You could hear her screaming out in pain as she was tapping out. Yeah, that was a bad.
People say the armbars aren't hurt, they don't hurt, but dude,
if you've ever been in one of those, you know how painful those things are, man. Was it the Holland fight versus Hernandez? Thought it would go a little bit longer than 30 seconds of the fight.
Oh yeah, dude, he got him with that body kick, knee to the body, and just took him out. Yeah, man. I thought Hernandez was gonna win that one.
Yeah, there was I was going for Holland to win. I knew he had some kicks in him, and Hernandez is known that he can't take body shots very well. I mean, his nickname is Fluffy, if that says anything about it.
That's true.
But that's all it took, man. That one knee to the solar plexus, and he was done for. And if you've ever been hit in the solar plexus, most people have it. So you get hit right here, and the air just goes out of you. It's hard to fight after that, man. You're done. So good fight for Holland. Definitely proved himself, and that was a lot of people were looking at that fight. So that's definitely going to shoot him up the rankings for sure.
Definitely. And then you had Beza, the second round TKO
against Matt Brown.
That was
a good fight.
Matt had him.
Matt dropped him at one point.
He had him right in the first round. he was winning the fight. And hey, my predictions of the old manpower,
it's
out the door.
2-1 right now, brother.
Hey, I'll take it. Still positive.
No, but I mean, Matt the Immortal Brown, he did good. Basis, I think he was coming to 8-0, so he's got a lot of hype behind him. He still has a lot to grow, but I think he could definitely be a contender for the belt one day.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, now that he's beaten Matt Brown, maybe get a couple more big names in there, and then throw him into the top 5. Man, he's in shape. He's got a lot of reach on him. I think he's going to make a big name for himself.
He will.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. And another fight that I was surprised about, I didn't know much about it, was Angela Hill and Claudia.
Oh, man.
I didn't realize Angela Hill fought 7 times in the last
year. 421 days or something like that.
Right. I didn't realize she was
That's
that
ridiculous.
active.
She beat Cowboy. His was 429 days. She beat Cowboy for most active fighter. And honestly, Claudia, she won the first round, with the takedown, and she was holding her there. She did a really good, she trapped her arm between her legs, but there was only like 15 seconds left.
Yeah, it was towards the end of the round.
But she did good, man. Her. Second round, Angela Hill was able to drop her.
And dude, they kept it up on the ground in the second round.
Yeah.
That's Angela's game.
Yeah, definitely.
That's her game.
I think going all the way to the decision, Angela seemed like she was the fresher fighter. I think she was a little bit more crisp with her punches. Her jabs were landing better, but that's another fight, man. I thought Angela Hill won that one going into decision.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree, don't know, man. It's an interesting night.
The refs were all over the place tonight.
They were, maybe just because Claudia was stronger, maybe that's why, and
maybe she pressuring a little bit more than
definitely.
Hill. Yeah,
but, I mean it's another one of those. If you shouldn't leave it up to the judges. If that first round would have gone a little bit more toward, if that she hadn't gotten the takedown, Angela Hill would have won that fight for sure.
Oh, 100%.
But
100%.
I mean, she'll be back. Obviously, she fights all the time.
Yeah.
So we'll see her
in
soon.
about 2 months.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely, she'll be around. There was a couple more fights. I mean, besides the main card, the Edson Barbosa Dan Ige fight.
That was good.
That was
another
fight.
one that was up in the air.
Up in the air, man.
I thought Barbosa won that one.
Barbosa won that, and I was a big fan of Ige. He's coming in. He was 5-5 in his last 6 fights or something like that. So I like him as a technical fighter, and I was like, oh, this is going to be impressive, and it'll be interesting to see Barbosa going as a featherweight. And I thought he'd be a little bit more drained. He looked very rough, in my opinion. He wasn't showing it, but he looked in his face. He looked a lot skinnier at the weigh-in. So I was like, "Oh, this will be interesting to see." Didn't throw as many kicks as I expected. He's known for them, and the couple that he threw were doing damage. He dropped Ige in that first round pretty bad. But I don't know. I think Ige was just pressuring so much, and he threw so much power in every single punch that he had. I'm guessing that's what won him the fight. But that's another one that I thought the judges scored incorrectly, man. Yeah, that's like 3 that I definitely thought Barbosa won that fight, but what are you gonna do? Ige's making a name for himself.
And another one with I don't know if you touch base on it, but Jocko and your boy Anders.
Yeah, man, that was
another one that was up in the air. I thought Anders had enough.
I agree with them on that one. That Jocko won that. I thought Anders just couldn't get his momentum going. He landed a couple good strikes. But it seemed like Jocko was just getting either on the escape or in the exchanges he was doing a little bit better. Anders kept going for the same 1-2 head kick that works for some fighters, but it just wasn't. He didn't have the range. He did it 3-4 times. Every time he threw the kick, Jocko was already out of the distance. So
me watching, I guess I may have not been paying too much attention, but from what I was watching, I saw Anders on the attack the whole time.
He definitely was, and I think he was pressuring more. He had him against the fence for a lot of that fight.
Yeah, so that's why I'm thinking Anders should have won that.
Yeah, see, that's another one, man. Like, if that's going to go to decision, and the way they're basing all these other fights, if Anders is pressuring him the entire time, holding against the cage, you would think they'd give it to him with the way they've been scoring, but no, that was another weird one. Yeah. What about the Song Yadong fight?
That was a good fight, dude. Going into that fight, I didn't know him. Didn't realize that dude was 22 years old.
Yeah,
did you know that?
I heard it somewhere that he was 22. He's been training for it since he was like 9 or 10 years old, man.
That's crazy.
He's been doing it for a while. Definitely a good fight against Chito Vera. And Chito, like we were talking about in the prediction video, he's dirty. He's in your face. He's going to pressure you. He's going to hit you with some hard shots. And it looked another one, man. I thought Chito won that fight.
Really? I thought Song won that one. I was okay with the decision.
Yeah. I didn't think it was a robbery, but definitely, Cheetah was getting in his face. Song Yadong was probably landing the better strikes, but I thought, Cheetah was just pressuring so much, and he was doing really well in the clinch with those knees to the body.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought that might finish him, because
True.
Song Yadong was slowing down.
Towards the end, he was slowing down a lot.
Yeah,
but I think he did enough in the first 2 rounds
to pull the W.
Get the W.
Yeah, for sure, man. But every single fight we just touched base on was just so entertaining, man.
And then jump to the main card.
Main card, man.
Overeem and Harris.
Definitely, of course, everyone that was rooting for Harris to come, for Walt Harris to get that W after, the tragic death of his daughter. He has nothing to be ashamed about.
Definitely not.
He put a great fight. Definitely hurt him in that first round.
I thought Dan was going to stop that fight.
I was very surprised at how hard he hit him. Alistair Overeem dropped. And I was like, he's all over him right now. It might not have been 10 punches in a row, but it'd be like 2-3 really good strikes, move around a little bit, 2-3 really good strikes. And I was surprised that Dan Miragliotta wasn't closer. He seemed like he was keeping a good distance.
He was letting them go.
Yeah.
He was letting them scrap. And Dan's one of the best refs they have.
Definitely. Another ref, maybe some of the ones that have been more in controversy, like Jason Herzog or Keith Peterson, they might have stopped that fight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
100%.
This just kind of shows that if you let them keep fighting, Overeem was hurt, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
He was able to survive that. And the one thing that messed Walt Harris up was he was hunting for the head. After they stood back up, he went for that front kick, and lost his balance.
And he got tired.
Yeah, man.
Trying to escape Overeem.
He's a big fella, man. He came in just under at 264 and a half. So he probably walks around like 270, and he had to cut weight to get to that. So that's a heavy guy. It's been known that his cardio might not last past the first round.
Right.
So that's why I was trying to predict first round TKO for Walt Harris. It would have been good, and he almost had it. He was just that close.
Yeah.
Got back to the feet, slipped. Overeem got on top of him. Didn't do a whole lot of damage, but was enough. And then going into the second round, that was just
Overeem.
It was all Overeem, man. He got those the right and the left. Oh no, it was the head kick.
It was the head kick that got him down.
The head kick was beautiful.
But he did right before the head kick. He did it with the left and right, and then he threw a leg kick, got him, and then
and he's like, when I threw the leg kick, I knew he was focused on watching his legs to make sure I didn't do it again. So he got him over the head as he was falling, caught him with the left, completely folded him down to the ground, and just sat on top of him. And Dan gave Walt Harris every chance he could.
Oh my God, yeah, he could have stopped it right away.
Yeah, I think.
And then you had Overeem flatten him out, and you knew that fight was over.
Yeah, man,
which is kind of tragic, but
I think it was just a combination of he was exhausted. You have 250-pound Overeem sitting on your back, punching you in the head. Maybe if Walt Harris's wrestling and jiu-jitsu was a little bit better, I know he's primarily a boxer. If his wrestling and jiu-jitsu would have been better, maybe he could have rolled out of it. But either way, it's tough with such a heavy guy on your back.
Sitting on top of you,
exactly, and just punching you in the side of the head over and over again.
Another great night of fights.
Oh man, definitely.
Next fight's supposed to be March 30th, I believe it
May
is.
30th, yeah.
May 30th, sorry.
Yeah,
May 30th.
Like they said, they're not 100% sure where it's going to be yet, but he said it's going to happen for sure. So they haven't really announced who's going to be fighting. And I think that's making these fight cards interesting is some of them are, from what it seems like, short notice fights.
Yeah.
It could have been just maybe a month and a half ago that they were like, hey, March 30th, or May 30th, now you got me doing it. May 30th, we're having a fight card. Are you going to be ready? And everyone's, obviously they want to get paid. They want to make money. So they're going into it. But the way they've been delivering these last 3 events, I'm sure, May 30th is going to be just as good. So definitely excited to be seeing that.
Hopefully so. Keep tuned, guys.
Yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you were able to catch that. It was on ESPN. It was a good night of fights, and you can always go back and rewatch everything that you missed. But hopefully you enjoyed them because we sure did. If you watched our video, please like, comment, or subscribe. Give us your opinion on what happened tonight, and thanks for watching, guys.